Hi, I'm Jenny. I asked for your questions and here are the answers. So let's start right away with your questions from YouTube. And the first one goes, considering it's the Olympics, what are your gold, silver and bronze watch brands? Well, since the Olympics sort of measure for objective things like, speed or height or whatever, I'm having a hard time doing the same thing for watch brands because that's very subjective. So I would say my bronze watch brand would be Cartier. My silver, so would they have to share the second place? Silver would be Grand Seiko and Tudor, and the first one, gold, surprise, Jenny, it's Rolex. Sorry. Question number 2. What are your thoughts on jewelers who make an effort to get their watches taken seriously? Chopin, Cartier, Bulgari, blah, blah, blah. For all their technical accomplishments, will they be forever stuck with the stigma of being high fashion without substance? That is an excellent question because I have to say for myself that when I first started out, I haven't been into watches for that long, but at first, when I learned that jewelers like Bulgari, for example, or Chopin, that they make watches, I was a bit hesitant, and I have to be honest, I was like, oh well, can't be that great. They are jewelers and watches aren't their main thing. So I kind of disregarded them, which is quite unfair, I have to say, because they make some fantastic watches. Take the Octo Finissimo from Bulgari, for example. It's incredible. It's, I believe, the world's thinnest watch, the world's thinnest wristwatch or so. But yeah, we still kind of see them as jewelers mainly. And that brings me to that one part of your question where it says who make an effort to get their watches taken seriously. I don't think there is a certain effort in a sense behind it, because when you go, like, for example, on the Bulgari website, the first thing you see is jewelry. It's what they're known for. That's their main thing. So I think watches are important to them, obviously. But for the Bulgari example, I don't think they try to push it and do not succeed. I think they are very well aware of where they are in the industry and they're still doing amazing things. So yeah, those are my thoughts. It's an excellent question for everyone watching this. Let me know what you think of these jeweler watches and what your take is on them. That would be interesting to read about. If you lost all your watches tomorrow, what would be the first one you replace, or would you get something new entirely? So I think I cannot replace. If I were to lose everything, it would be so difficult to replace most of my watches because I've got like a real emotional attachment to so many of them. For example, you've got my wedding watch, or the watch that my grandpa gave me, the watch my dad gave me, my birthday watch, for example. So I don't think they're replaceable. I cannot get another candy pink, but let's just pretend that I could. I don't think I wouldn't, because that would feel wrong, because it isn't that watch, if you get what I'm saying. What I would replace immediately, though, would be the Cartier Santos from 1999 that I bought myself quite recently. I would just try to get another birth year Santos, because that is something I really want to have and own, and that would still be okay to replace, because since I have not worn that watch that much, it would be replaceable. So that would be the first one I would replace. What are my thoughts on watch winders? Have you ever used one? I do get that question quite a lot. A lot of you send me emails or ask me on Instagram what my thoughts on watch winders are. And I do have to say that for me personally, I don't really see a reason to have or own one, simply because, well, first of all, I don't own that many automatic, overly complicated watches. The most complicated watch I own is a Seiko Day-Date. So I don't really struggle resetting it if it runs out. I guess if you have a lot of very complicated automatic watches and you rotate them quite frequently, it would make sense for you to put them in a watch winder and they would be good to go when you want to wear them. I don't know, I'm also not really bothered by having certain watches lie around for quite some time in the same position. I think it's okay. I don't really own that much vintage. So with the newer models that I have, with the newer watches that I have, I think they can handle it. As far as I know, they used to have these oils or lubricants in the watches that would tend to run dry over time. But nowadays, the synthetic oils and lubricants are so well made that that's okay, I guess. But I mean, I'm not a watchmaker, so don't quote me on that. I don't see the necessity. It's a nice thing to display your watches in, and it looks cool, but that's not for me. Would I be willing to attempt to do a watch mod build video with parts from Namo keyboards, Crystal Times, Horology, etc.? It would be cool to see you try a build. I have thought about it, and there are some, not necessarily like modding watches, but there are quite a couple of watch building kits that you can buy online. And I mean, I don't know, let me know in the comments if that's something you'd be interested to see. I don't know how interesting it would be to have someone assemble a watch or modify a watch that has absolutely zero experience in it. I would be struggling a lot, I would imagine. But yeah, let me know if that's something you would like to see, then I can give it a try. Why not? How tall are you? I did get that question quite a lot as well. I am 170 centimeters tall, which according to Google would make me 5'7" in the imperial system. Hi Jenny, maybe if there's any watch that disappointed you or didn't live up to the hype. Boy, oh boy, was I disappointed the other day. So Tag Heuer teased a collaboration with Super Mario online. And I was really excited. I was really curious to see what they would do with it, because I think it's great if you have this crossover between two very different worlds. And then they announced it, and it was a Tag Heuer connected. I mean, whatever floats your boat, that's fine. If you like the connected line from Tag Heuer. I'm not a big fan of it. It's not really my thing. I'm happy with my Apple Watch. And oh man, imagine if they were to come out with a Tag Heuer Carrera Super Mario style watch. I would consider buying that one, but that one was a bit disappointing, I have to say. And the other one was, oh dang, I think Felix and Annie from the OT podcast, I will link it for you down below, did a great take on this in one of their episodes. The Audemars Piguet X Marvel collaboration, when it came out with the Black Panther concept watch. Listen, I think again it's great that they would team up with Marvel. I think it's so cool, but it was way too literal, I think, in my opinion. It was, I mean, there's a Black Panther on the dial, and I mean that's cool, and I'm sure I'm sure it takes so much effort to create that, and I absolutely respect AP for that, but I wished they would have went for a more subtle approach and not like so in your face about it. But yeah, I think to be honest, Seiko really nailed it with their Street Fighter series. I think what they did was so amazing. You've got all these very subtle hints and not so subtle hints to the characters, but you never like see, there wasn't like a Chun-Li on the watch dial, because I think that kind of takes away of the charm of the collaboration. But yeah, those two were a bit disappointing for me. We're going to switch over to Instagram. Have you ever spotted someone wearing a fake watch? Yes, I did, and it was very awkward. There was this one guy, and I cringe when I think about it, because it was such a weird moment. We were buying pizza, and the pizza guy, he was what I thought a Datejust. I just, saw it from the side, and I could see like the fluted bezel, and I was like, Datejust, could see the Cyclops lens, looked like a Datejust from afar. And I gave him a compliment on it, and I was like, hey, that's a great Datejust. And he like looked at me and just smiled very awkwardly and didn't really say something about it. Didn't say thanks or anything, just like, huh. And then like he turned his wrist like he was like doing his job, obviously. And I could see the watch a bit better, and then I realized that it was a fake. And it was a weird moment. So yeah, but I don't see why I should like say something about it to him. If someone, there's only, I think, one situation where you would be justified to bring it up to someone. If someone's directly asking you, hey, do you think this is real or fake? Then you can obviously give your answer. Or if someone's like really bragging about it and like putting other watches down or other people's watches down, then I would probably be like, hey, listen, you better sit down with your fake watch and zip it. But other than that, whatever. Everyone can wear whatever they want. It's none of my business. But that was a fun situation to be in. What is something you want YouTube watch channels to do different? I feel like that's kind of a trick question, because that would mean that I would have to generalize YouTube watch channels, which you cannot do. There's so many different ones out there, and everyone and everything has a right to exist. and lots of entertaining stuff out there, which is fine. I'm always happy to be entertained. I don't think there's anything I would want them to do different. I'm happy that so many different channels exist. I think that's super important that we have so many different voices and opinions out there. Just be nice about it, I guess. But I think for the most part, people are nice. So that would be my very diplomatic answer to you. And we got Denny out here asking the tough questions. Which watch from your collection you have a love-hate relationship with, if you have one? I do have one, and I feel kind of bad for saying it, but to be honest, I do have a hate-love relationship with my Cartier Santos. I mean, I love it, don't get me wrong, and it's such a special watch, but so annoying. The bracelet doesn't have any form of micro adjustment, so right now it's warm, it's summer here in Germany, and my wrists do tend to swell up quite a bit during the day. It's too tight to wear, it's so uncomfortable. I cannot wear it like that. If I put a link back in, it's just too loose, and because the watch case is so small, it kind of flips like to the downside of my wrist, and it is so annoying. I mean, I love it, but I really hate it for that bracelet, because like I cannot wear it right now, and why do I have it if I cannot wear it, you know? So I have to wait for colder weather or the winter time, and then I'll bring it back out. But yeah, that really bothers me. So that's my love-hate watch in my collection. And another question I've been getting quite a lot: should I be afraid to share my watches on social media due to their high value? And similar to that theme, if you should be afraid to wear luxury watches out in public. It's kind of a yes and no situation. It really depends. I think there are a lot of Instagram profiles out there where the people are anonymous and they just share their wrist shots and everything. I mean, that is fine because you cannot trace it back to someone. I think in some cases you might be better off not showing your full extent of your watch collection online and have people know who you are and perhaps like where you work or something. I mean, I don't want to expect the worst from people, but there are some sketchy people out there who might take advantage of that information online. So, you know, just be safe. And in terms of wearing your watch in public, there is, like, for certain occasions, I choose not to wear specific watches. For example, when we went to Paris, like 2 years ago, I did not wear my Datejust, for example. And I think Kai also opted for his Speedy, because that one's a bit more under the radar. Because, I don't know, like pickpockets and everything. In like bigger cities where you might be using a lot of public transport, which we were doing, like if you're traveling by train or by bus. I don't know, I wouldn't feel too comfortable wearing some flashy watches. But I guess when you're just out for dinner and you're taking the car, that would be a different story. So just be aware of your surroundings and keep in mind where you are and how you are getting there. And I think you should be good. I mean, we're all grown-ups here. We probably know what's up. How did you and Kai meet? Personal goals / dreams. Well, we did go to school together, but we properly met at a house party from a friend of ours. And that was ages ago. I think it was like in 2009, I want to say. But we did not dating for the next 5 or 6 years. So we were friends first. And personal goals and dreams. You know, I really want to own chickens someday. I really like chickens. My grandpa has about, I want to say like 15 to 20 chickens. And I think they're great animals. So, and then you get eggs, which is nice. I really want to own chickens. And I also want to have lived in the UK again. That would be another dream of mine. Preferably like in London, or going back to St. Andrews would be nice. But yeah, chickens and the UK basically. How many of the watches you review were given to you for free? Well, I know a lot of people think that the watches that I show you are mine or gifted or anything like that, which is, I mean, I wish they were. Imagine, that would be an insane watch collection. But I have not been given any watches for free except for one. It was the Undone Killy that I had in my, what was it called? The ladies gift guide video of mine. The one with the photo on the case back, and I think it's such a cool idea, so I wanted to try it and I agreed to it. But in hindsight, I wouldn't do it again, because I think getting something for free though you really try to not be influenced by it, it's really hard to not subconsciously look more favorable towards something if it has been given to you as a gift. So yeah, I did that, but I don't want to do it again. But it was still a nice watch, don't get me wrong. But yeah, I don't get any watches for free. Most of them that I review are borrowed by brands or borrowed from sponsorship partners. Very few are my own. Some of them are borrowed by friends or like watch collectors who would lend me their watches. And that's how I get them for my video. What is an alternate name you would give a watch? Well, I was trying to make the White Walker happen for my Yachtmaster here. I don't know if it worked. I don't think so. But that would be so great. I mean, it does look like a White Walker, doesn't it? You've got the rhodium dial and the light blue accents. So help me make this happen if you agree with it. Let's have this Yachtmaster variation be called the White Walker. That would be great. How are you dealing with the current YouTube purge on watch reviews to cover off-limit topics? I mean, what happened to Just One More Watch? That was terrible and very scary, to be honest, but I'm very happy that he got his channel back. And I did hear about smaller channels that were affected as well. I mean, yeah, it was scary, and when it happened, I did private my replica videos that I had, but then I brought them back live again because, you know, at the end of the day, I really stand by them. I think they're educational. I think it's a very interesting topic. You can think about replicas whatever you want. I think it is just very fascinating to see what is out there. Again, I think it's educational and I stand by them. And since Jody got his channel back, I do feel quite confident to get mine back should it ever, knock on wood, be taken down because of these videos. That's the other thing. We do not know for sure what really was behind all that, or at least I don't think I'm sure that I know exactly why his channel has been taken down. From what I've gathered, it was a mistake by the YouTube algorithm. Yeah, if it was just an algorithm mistake, I don't see why I should take them down. I like those videos and I will keep them up, and we're just gonna have to see what's going to happen in the future. If it really is YouTube trying to censor certain content, I think that's the complete wrong way to do it. There are so many other pieces of content out there actively promote that kind of stuff, and so many other terrible videos on YouTube, and they should focus on them first. So yeah, I guess we have to wait and see how that's going to continue in the future. And that was it for today for the Q&A. Thank you so much to everyone who sent in their questions on YouTube and on Instagram. Fortunately, I cannot answer them all, but there is always going to be a next Q&A. So yeah, again, thank you so much. If you have enjoyed this video, you can give it a thumbs up. I would really appreciate it. And if you want to see more videos of me, like these Q&As or watch reviews, you can subscribe to my channel, and I will see you in my next one. Bye!